Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to chat with you guys a little bit about the myth of using straps so that your grip doesn't become the limiting factor and you can get good back development. And this is really a bunch of nonsense that, in my opinion, came out of the bodybuilding world. It isn't useful and it's potentially harmful and causes injuries and muscle imbalances in the long term. Now, when I state that, I am not saying that I'm 100% against straps. I'm not saying that straps can't have their place in training. I'm not saying they can't be a useful tool in some circumstances. Okay, we're not going to be that dogmatic about it. However, the way most guys out there are using straps is counterproductive. And I'm a perfect example of this. I don't train with straps. Okay, I don't train with straps. Yet, even though I am not a physique oriented guy, I don't have a beautiful physique, not interested in having a beautiful physique, my back development is pretty good. Right? It's pretty good. I've even seen people say out there, look, I don't even like Blaha. I don't like this guy at all. Can't stand him. But he's got a really good back. Okay? And that's being fair. That's being intellectually honest. And I can respect that. You know, the person will give me credit for something. And of course, dislike the things they dislike. And that's okay. We're allowed to do that. We're allowed to do that. We are human beings. But let's come over to the point. I don't have any problems with back development. Now, granted, I do a lot of grip work. But here's where it gets even more interesting. I switched over because I needed more grip work. My grip was becoming a limiting factor on my deadlifts, right? Anytime I started hitting anything 600 plus, I was struggling to hold on to it. I've had to incorporate a ton of grip work. I'm doing a ton of forearm work because I need it for all of my lifting. It's a weak link for me. But I've started doing high volumes of axle bar rows. Well, when you sit back and think about that, that means my grip is definitely going to be the limiting factor in my rowing. Yet, if anything, my back hasn't regressed, and if anything, it's grown. Because the beauty of using something like an axle bar, and also the beauty of using something like a pendlay row, when your grip starts to slip, you can re-grip it between reps because you have it on the floor already. You have it on the floor already. And I would argue the reason a lot of bodybuilding types think that they need straps is, number one, they haven't done any grip training, haven't paid attention to their grip at all. Right? They haven't done appropriate levels of training. They haven't tried to do any deadlifting. They started using straps on the wrong stuff, or more importantly, they're trying to do the wrong sort of row. They're doing the rows where you stand up in the air and try to hold on to the weight the whole time. Well, no wonder your grip's not developing. You're not going to be able to hold on to that. And it doesn't even build that great of a back. Right? You can get way more back stimulation and recover from way more sets doing a really strict row. Look at the strict pendlay rows I do, and then look at my back. You can use a lot less weight. Now, I can do these with 225, 245 for sets of 10, but they're sloppy, and your back doesn't get any more stimulation from it. Now, it's pretty bad when a strength guy has to tell the physique guys, hey man, you guys aren't being strict enough. That's pretty bad. But we see it, don't we? We see all these bodybuilders doing that, who frequently don't even have good back development as a result of it. Doing these rows way up in the air, they're not bent over at 90 degrees to where the lats and rear delts get worked correctly. They turn it into a trap exercise, which, by the way, it'll build your traps even this way. Right? You do enough strict rows like this and overhead pressing, you'll build traps. You'll build traps. But they turn it into a trap exercise and then they can't hold on to it. The issue is not that their grip is a limiting factor. The issue is that they're doing a piss poor execution of an exercise so that they can use 100 pounds more than they should be using to build their back, right? And using hip drive to get the weight up. They're not using their back. You pull from the floor and you lock your elbows out at the bottom of each rep, stay tight. Your lats have to pull the weight off the floor. Okay, and it stretches the lats to do that. And then you get scapular retraction at the top. Very effective for the lats and the whole back. Effective for the lats and the whole back. You know, same thing. I mean, people will say, well, I need to be for my chin-ups and pulls. Well, learn how to chin up correctly and your grip will build up. I weigh 220 pounds, and I did this experiment earlier this year where I did 100 chin-ups every day. Did it for a couple months. Your grip will build really fast if you learn to hold the bar correctly. All right? Your grip will build up real quick. And I still didn't have enough grip to pull what I wanted to pull with it. So I had to start doing extra grip work. It wasn't able to get my deadlift where I wanted it. You're not helping yourselves, guys. And this is something you need to really think about with that. Is if you feel that you need straps to do your back work, you might want to rethink the quality of your back work. You also need to start saying, hey, maybe I need to be doing some grip work. Because not only are you probably doing piss poor quality back work that's not even going to give you the back you want. Because I see guys who say that, no offense, I know some coaches and trainers who I see online, I'm not going to name names, who will say that, oh, that's what I do so my back doesn't become a limiting factor, and then they have no back. It's like, dude, you don't have a back. And I'm not trying to be a judge of physique competition because I don't care, but I can clearly see that their back is deficient. It's not working. It isn't working. And we come over to the other problem. It leaves your forearms. It leaves your grip weaker. Right, that predisposes you to injuries. I mean, if you can't do back work, if you don't even have a massive back and you can't do your back work without straps, this is a strength deficiency. It's a major strength deficiency. You know, you're going to be more predisposed to injuries and pulls and things in general because of your weak grip. Okay, that weak grip is going to potentially hurt you. Furthermore, we come over to the point of these guys want an impressive physique. Since when has having no forearm development ever been considered part of that? I generally been my experience that physique competitors of any type want good forearm development. Right? I generally assume they do. And if you have grip problems, you really have issues. Like, look at my structure. I have very, very thin arm bones. Now, part of we can see with the fisheye lens, and part of it's because the rest of me overshadows it, and people meet me like, oh, your arms aren't as small as I thought they were. No, I'm just proportion issues. It's the fact that I do have very thin, very long arms as far as the bone structure. Well, I have to work on grip. To be able to deadlift 600 plus pounds, believe me, guys, I need grip training. Well, if you're one of those who has a weak grip, you probably have small forearms. You probably have a structural issue. You're really going to have problems. Like if you don't do the forearm work, which will include grip work, which means you shouldn't need the straps. You should probably be pulling without them. You're going to have a deficiency in your physique because you're probably predisposed to having really small forearms. Right? If you're predisposed to that, that's an issue. Same guys are doing this, they think they're going to improve their physique, are going to have a more imbalanced physique. I mean, worst case, you're going to end up like me with smaller arms and forearms and a big old back. Well, no one's handed me any physique competition awards. So I'm not going to be winning anything. Between my loose skin from losing 100 pounds and my proportions, I'm placing dead last in something like that. I accept that, though. I don't care. But yeah, you guys are creating muscle imbalances through improper training, right? You're using improper training, and the straps are being used as a cop-out. They're being used as a crutch and a cop-out for piss poor quality training that's leaving you imbalanced. All right, guys, well, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.